And we start with a Fox News alert. The White House says President Trump will decide if the U.S. will become involved in Israel and Iran's conflict within the next 2 weeks.
Alexandria Hoff live at the White House with more. Good morning, Alex.
Well, good morning to you guys. Yeah, the president, he is this afternoon going to be sitting down, meeting with his National Security Council, as he will continue to do so throughout the weekend. This is as this timeline has been set, this 2 weeks for Iran to opt for a diplomatic route, an off-ramp out of this whole thing. That is something that the White House feels that should be done if they want to avoid grave consequences.
I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
And by to go, they mean to get involved there. Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu states that he trusts President Trump's judgment on this. Also, that Israel, he feels, is capable of destroying Iran's nuclear threat on its own. The U.S., though, is the only nation globally with the possession of a bomb that could reach Iran's nuclear enrichment site, Fordo, which is built deep into the mountainside. Fox News has been told that the White House has no doubt that bunker busters, as they are called, could do the job. A White House official says no options, including a tactical nuke, have been taken off the table. Now, Chinese President Xi Jinping has offered to mediate talks between Iran and Israel. A foreign ministry spokesperson stating this: China stands ready to continue enhancing communication and coordination with all parties, pool their efforts, uphold justice, and play a constructive role in restoring peace in the Middle East. But China's intentions, as usual, aren't really so clear here, especially given the mystery transport flights that last week occurred. Several Boeing 747s were spotted leaving China for Iran, and their exact flight routes were kind of mysterious there. One thing we want to mention is Fox News has just confirmed that the FBI is increasing surveillance of Iranian-backed potential operatives here in the U.S. So there is something happening on the domestic front as well to avoid conflict in the Middle East. The president right now is still scheduled to attend the NATO summit that will be taking place next week in the Netherlands, guys.
Yeah, that's significant news there, Alex.
Yeah.
You know, the administration now boosting the monitoring of possible Iran-backed cells in the U.S. as President Trump awaits his decision.
So Iran came out and says they're not going to give up enriching and they're not going to surrender. So thanks, Alex. Appreciate it. So, I mean, what are we talking about? Why have talks? I mean, the whole problem is if they just would enrich outside the country, they could have delayed this whole thing. They have not changed postures, even though they've lost between 50 and 70% of their launchers, their nuclear scientists, their intelligence, their leading intelligence officials, as well as their commanding generals. So they've almost used all their ballistic missiles, and they still don't want to change. Why are we even having talks?
Yeah, well,
what are the Europeans talking about? What are they even pledging to do? Where do you start?
I think it was smart for Donald Trump to say, let's try to negotiate. He did that. He gave them 60 days, and then they went past 60 days, and he said, I'm losing patience with this. So we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. Senator Tom Cotton said it has to be closed, talking about the Fordo nuclear site, the one that's way underground. He said it has to be closed one way or another. Either we'll do it the easy way or the hard way. It's really up to Iran.
Yeah, and what comic relief with China and Russia saying we'll broker peace.
Yeah,
they cause unrest, and they've also helped arm Hamas and Hezbollah because their arms have been found as the Israelis have gone in.
And they continue to hammer those proxies and really put them on their back.
Not a good time to be an Iranian proxy if you're thinking about applying for something this summer. Meantime, more than 60 Israeli Air Force fighter jets struck dozens of military targets in Tehran overnight.
And Iran launching a new wave of ballistic missiles into southern Israel, hurting at least 5 people.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying at least half of Iran's missile launchers have been destroyed as officials work to clean up the damage. Let's go straight to Mike Tobin, who's live on the ground in Tel Aviv with the latest. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Griff, and the Israeli military says their fighter jets are back in the air right now over central and western Iran, striking targets. As we say that, we've got remarkable video, not necessarily of a missile making impact here in Israel, but of shrapnel coming down. A large missile fragment came down yesterday in central Israel. It's a piece of an Iranian missile. It made a giant hole in the pavement after being hit by an Israeli interceptor. Meantime, the head of the International Atomic Agency spoke exclusively to Fox News. He said Iran had enough uranium for several bombs and was just a quick step away from enriching to weapons grade. However, he says Iran had not begun the final steps to make a bomb. And despite the recent warfare, he still believes the path to preventing a bomb is diplomacy.
I think internationally there is a consensus that Iran should not be nuclearly armed. We are the international corps of inspectors, and we know what you would need to check in order to prevent this from happening. So let's see what's happening, and we believe that the opportunity should be seized, as President Trump said, but of course the space for that is narrowing.
Southern Israel took another strike from an Iranian missile today. A single missile got through the defenses and hit near an industrial and apartment complex in the town of Beersheba. Damage and fire resulted, but no reports of injuries. That is the same town where yesterday a missile hit the Soroka hospital. Israel says the fighter jets hit some 35 targets overnight, missile systems and supporting equipment. And a drone was taken out over the north of Israel today using new technology. Israel says this is the first time they used the Barak system to take out a drone over Israel. Barak in Hebrew means lightning. Guys, back to you.
Is that the laser? Is that the laser?
No, it looks like an object zipped through the sky and hit that drone.
Wow. Okay. Wow. It's amazing how many systems they have going. Thanks, Mike.
Thank
General Jack Keane coming up shortly to expand on this, the new revelations coming out of the region, and we'll talk about what the options are going forward.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.